Hi, this is Poster Girl. Welcome to Beyond Bandwives. These episodes are about independent, trailblazing women who are creative, self-assured, and community-minded. Ladies that are inspiring, intelligent, and have learned to take control of their own destiny. They are beautiful and bold, both inside and out, and are the very women I hope to emulate. I'm super excited to talk to the very talented Galaxy Lineberger today. She has very graciously agreed to come and talk with us and just give us a little bit of insight into what makes Galaxy tick and who she really is. And welcome, Galaxy.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here.
Yes, you're welcome. So why don't you take just a couple minutes and just sort of tell everyone who you are, what you do, what your favorite things in life are, and give us a little bit of Galaxy history.
Right. So I'm Galaxy Lineberger. I am a member of the Dancing Fleas, America's premier ukulele party band, as well as a co-owner of Almost Heaven Salon and Spa here in Shelby.
Mm-hmm. Busy lady.
Yes, I like to split my time with two different creative things, hair and music, and filling every moment between that with community time and more music.
Yes.
And as often as I can, off the stage and in the audience.
Yes. As someone who spends a lot of time on the stage, I know it's probably it's a rare treat for you sometimes to get to sit in the audience.
The last 12 years, they Christopher Drew and Never Shout Never, and that classic recording of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and Jake Shimabukuro and some of these other artists that kind of blew up for having ukuleles in their music made it a trendy thing to buy, coupled with the fact that you can buy a cheap ukulele for maybe $20.
Right.
So it's an easy instrument to get into the hands of the people. It's easy to form a club. You get 3 people with ukuleles together and 3 chords. You can play 100 songs together. So it's an easy campfire instrument, and that accessibility is part of what's made it trendy, but it's also been part of what makes it the hardest to book our band. Because people say they see ukulele band and they decide it's going to be dinky or, not amplified.
Right.
They think acoustic. No one wants to listen to 10 ukuleles. They're all going to be playing the same thing. Why would I want to go listen to that?
Right.
And we've had to actively fight against that image and also that ukulele club image to be recognized as a legitimate band that can book a main stage.
Yes. Yeah. You guys you've been on the main stage in many places. I never really thought about that you would have had difficulty with that. It's your brand and your what you guys have done, and I guess because I've been kind of close to it, been able to hear it,
right?
So it is surprising that these little instruments, you get 10 of them together, how layered that can be,
right?
That sound can be.
You have these bands like the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain, and it's a very similar lineup. It's like 9 people, 1 uka bass, 8 varying size ukuleles. A lot of them will sing in the band, and they'll do covers, and that's very similar to our model, but where we differ is that we've added drums and we added pedal steel. To kind of pull it also a little bit more into our roots, where most of the people in our band have gotten their musical experience not through playing in other bands or other instruments, but through praise bands or through community theater. And so they're more about the performance aspect, and they're Southerners, so we're going to play some Southern music.
Yes.
We play some hymns, we need to throw some pedal steel in there, give it that flair. And that also holds true to us being a family band, because our pedal steel player is the son of 2 of our other members.
Right, yeah.
And when he's expressed interest in playing, I was almost a little hesitant because I was like, that's not a ukulele. I just don't know about adding that. And then I was like, well, the thing that brings me the most joy about my band is getting to play with my dad. And I'm not going to take that away from some other kid because he doesn't want to play the ukulele. Yeah. You know, if he wants to be in our band and like take a bunch of solos and be part of what makes us great and get to play with both of his parents, I can't say no to that.
So did your dad teach you? You've mentioned him. Is he the one that taught you ukulele?
The story,
or kind of got you into it?
The story there is actually like the sweetest story. So we walked into Shelby Music one day, and they had these like $60 brightly colored ukuleles on display. Yeah. And there's a sign next to it that said, Shelby Ukulele Club first meeting next Wednesday. Wow. And Dad looks at me and he goes, you want a ukulele? And I was like, yeah. So we both got ukuleles that day, went home and learned a few chords, and showed up for the meeting the next week. Okay. And that club became the Dancing Fleas.
Okay. So how long ago was that?
That was 11 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's been 11 years. Yeah. But it started as Shelby Ukulele Club in the downstairs of Shelby Music. I knew 3 chords. I got my ukulele literally 6 days before. And we just have been rolling with it ever since.
That's right. I know. It's like just you walk in somewhere and your dad just throws this one little thing out there, and then here you are 11 years later. So I just think that's very sweet, too.
Yeah, he saw me checking out this purple ukulele, and he was like, he saw that I had some interest, and he saw an opportunity for us to have a hobby together.
Something together.
And he's like, let's take it. Let's do that.
Yeah. Does anybody else in your family play?
My little sister, not only does she play ukulele, but she is our sound woman and our merch table representative.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And she can run a soundboard.
Those are big jobs.
She is killer. She is so good. We'll go in a venue, and they'll have some guy with, like, a tablet system. Yeah. And he is already convinced this is going to be easy. It's a ukulele band, whatever. And then we roll in with 10 people who all need direct inputs. Yeah. And 8 microphones. And they are, like, way over their head. And then I just point to my 17-year-old sister. She's 18 now, but she's running sound from us from 16. So I point over at this teenager, and I was like, if you got any questions, ask her. She can and they look at me like BS. And I'm like, no, seriously, ask her. She knows everything. And honestly, you should just hand her that tablet and let her take over.
Let her do it. I know. If I have learned one thing from watching Chris and Medicine Crow, nobody knows your sound like you do.
Right.
And
having a sound person is a big deal.
It is.
It makes everything so much more streamlined.
It does. And sometimes it takes out the guesswork from the other, someone who doesn't know anything about y'all.
And someone who thinks they know exactly what's right and is unwilling to ask their questions, which that happens a lot with musicians, but equally sound people, you know. Yeah. They get it in their head that they know what they're doing, and they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, it's a very subjective thing sometimes, too, but you just have to... You just got to fight for what you want it to sound like.
Right. If we just let people mix us the way they wanted to, you know...
It would never be...
It wouldn't be good.
Understand, so... All right. So you've also mentioned... so does your mom play?
My mom played clarinet in high school, but that's about where her musical participation. She runs merch for us as well, and she loves traveling and hanging out with us, and she comes to all the shows. Yeah. We actually play her and my dad's song in our band. We played Just Like Heaven by The Cure.
Oh, yeah.
And that was their song.
Yes.
So, you know, I'm always I sing that song, so I was like looking out at my mom and she,
watching Dad.
Yeah, it's the sweetest thing. I mean, getting to play their song for them all the time and like in every set, that's super nice. Yeah.
And who doesn't love The Cure?
Oh, exactly. Right. I mean, and the fact that my band is like okay with us doing ukulele Cure songs, like that's I couldn't ask for more supportive people.
Would be so proud.
I really hope so. I really hope so.
I think he would. I'm going to say that he would.
Hey, we do when we do Just Like Heaven, we do very bluegrass oriented, just like heaven.
Okay.
We have fiddle. We have, our fiddle player, Emma, she's in college right now. So she's kind of, I'm trying to pick the fiddle back up from my high school experience to be able to fill that in. But our original arrangement had fiddle, tap dancing, and pedal steel breaks in Just Like Heaven.
Tap dancing.
And then when we end it, because it ends on that dissonant note, and we kick it back in and we do another verse of it, real high energy, and then we end it. It's really good.
I'll bet it is.
It's very influenced by the, I think they're called the String Dusters. They do a cover of it that's bluegrass, and we definitely took a lot of influence from their version of Just Like Heaven.
Awesome. All right. So you've also mentioned you're almost heaven.
Yes, Just Like Heaven, almost heaven.
Yes, got that.
It's a good segue.
So I'm going to segue even into anybody that has seen Galaxy, and on your social media or anywhere just in town knows that Galaxy has you have a very you stand out. You have, I mean, and it's not just because your hair is usually a wild color. It's a beautiful green right now.
Thank you.
But just kind of the way that you
my
carry yourself
is
and everything.
Different, especially in our area.
Yeah,
there's not a whole lot of people doing that, but vivid colors.
So tell about it.
Yeah, I love vivids. I wanted to. My mom. It's so funny. She wanted to be a hairdresser, and she never told me that until after I was already a hairdresser, which I think is hilarious.
It is.
But she did, she was the girl who did all her friends' perms.
Okay.
And I wanted to dye my hair a funky color, and she had a lot of opinions about the way I looked, which she just wanted me not to get picked on. That's where all of it came from, was that she didn't want me to get picked on. And now as an adult, I respect all of the limitations she put on me. I truly do. But I wanted.
So are you 10 at this time, or you?
I was asking.
14?
I was asking to get my hair done as early as the 4th or 5th grade.
Okay.
The first time she let me dye my hair, she only let me dye it darker brown.
Okay.
And it was semi-permanent, darker brown. And I was in the 6th grade, and we were using a box dye, and it was burning on my head. And I was like, "It hurts, Mom. It's burning my head." And she was like, "You asked for this. You're going to sit through it." And I was like, "Oh, my God." She's like, "You begged and begged. I'm not rinsing it out.
That's
We're going to sit the
We've
full
already
30
started this here.
Right.
We're going through.
So, later on, I wanted purple hair so bad. And she said, the day that you can drive yourself to a salon and pay for it is the day that you can have purple hair.
There you go.
Fair. That's really fair.
It is a fair thing.
So the first Vivid I got was when I was 16, and I was working at Lily Bean.
Okay.
And I took my first paycheck from Lily Bean Coffee, and I walked across the street to Hats Off Salon in Spotwood, right there.
Yeah.
And I said, "Is anyone available to cut all my hair off and dye it purple?"
Okay.
And Charlotte Terry was taking walk-ins, and she gave me a really short pixie cut and dyed it bright purple.
Yeah.
And that was my first Vivid, and I was hooked.
Hooked since then.
Totally. I was always had short, pixie, brightly colored hair. And once I tried green, I was obsessed with that.
Okay.
So I dyed my hair green for the first time right before I turned 17.
Okay.
And even though I've done other colors since, and I've actually, I think, done every Vivid there is in my own hair.
Yeah.
But I always go back to green. Always go back to green.
So can you do your hair yourself, because you are a hairstylist?
Yeah, I actually.
Salon. Do you do it?
I do it about half of the time now. Okay. So I mean, I did some DIY hair back when the 9th grade. I dyed my own hair black, and I would do my own edgy emo haircuts. But now that I'm licensed, I feel more comfortable doing my own hair, and I do it about half the time now. I don't like to do my own back of my head. It's very risky with overlapping bleach, especially because I'm trying to grow out a really awesome mullet right now.
Yes.
So if I overlap my bleach, I'm going to compromise my hair. So I haven't been doing the back of my own hair, but usually I put it off so long because I spend so much time doing other people's hair that there's just one day where I'm like, these roots are terrible, and I'm just going at it myself. And I could totally have someone else in the salon do it, but I put it off until I can't stand it anymore, and then I'm unwilling to wait.
they're not available.
I was like, I'm my own worst client for sure. In a lot
not
of
the
ways.
way it always is.
Definitely,
no matter what you do.
I put my own hair off until my roots are a frustrating length to accomplish the colors I want, but it happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. So tell me about your tattoos. Okay, I love tattoos. I got my first tattoo a long time ago, and then it took me a long time, and then I've gotten several since then. But so tell me about your tattoos. I love them. I think they're just
thank you
amazing, and people always have awesome stories about them.
Yeah, I definitely knew I wanted to be a tattooed person as well, and I got 2 tattoos on my 18th birthday.
Yeah,
I was all in. And the first tattoos I got are the ones here on my forearms.
Okay.
And the one on my left arm is the constellation Lyra. Yes. And the one on my right arm is the constellation Orion. Okay. Those are actually my siblings' middle names because we all have galactic names.
Yes, you do.
I'm the oldest, so I got the all-encompassing galaxy. And my sister is Harper Lyra, and my brother is Miles Orion.
Okay.
So I got those because I knew that I had a lot of my tattoos are very sentimental. I kind of got all those out of the way first, and now I've moved on to more stylistic, weird ones that are just images I like.
Yeah.
But I have a tattoo for my brother and sister, and then I have a full stomach piece that was actually a design that my dad drew for my mom when they were in college together. Okay. So long before I was ever even thought of.
Yeah.
And he was in an art class at Chapel Hill. And I'll show it to you.
Yeah.
He did a print.
Tell us about it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did a print of a man and a woman holding hands.
Okay.
And the man has a coffee cup for a head. And the woman has a daisy for a head. And it's symbolic of my parents.
Okay.
And I had him redesign it when I was an adult to be a tattoo. So it's not true to the original, but it's based off of that original piece he did for my mom.
Well, it needed to change it around just a little bit so that it would
fit on my body and look good.
Be a good tattoo.
So I have those for my parents. My right arm is all vegetables.
Yes, I can see that.
And that's because I'm vegetarian and I love veggies. And my left arm is bugs and plants. And I'm leaving my right bicep and my left forearm open because I don't know what's going to be important to me in 20 years.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I because I have tattoos for my parents and I have a tattoo for my great-grandmother who was a hairdresser who's very important to me. And I've just put all these very important people on my body. Yeah. If I ever, when I get married or if I have children, I figure I will want to represent them very forwardly. So I'm leaving space for the people who haven't come into my life yet.
That's very smart.
I have really planned out my tattoos, and I always knew I was going to be in a profession where I could have them, which is why I felt as free to go as far as I have. I was like, I'm going to work in something to do with the aesthetic industry, whether that's hair, makeup, whatever. I always knew that, so I was like, it's safe for me to get tattooed. I didn't get hand tattoos or a neck tattoo until I owned my salon.
Until you knew.
Once I owned my own business and I knew that I would never have a dress code for the foreseeable future.
Right. It would be your own dress code.
Right, exactly. That's when I decided it was safe to get hand and neck tattoos. But previous to that, I was very against it because I just don't... I've been very careful to make sure that the things I put on my body are things that I have always cared about. Yes. And I intend to always care about. Yeah. And, some people see me being as heavily tattooed as I am at 25, and they immediately think that I have an irresponsible relationship with it. But I feel like it's the complete opposite. I'm very purposeful. Even if I decide 2 days before. Like there's been times, because the salon is also a tattoo parlor. Yes. We have 2 tattoo artists.
Johnny did my last one.
Johnny did yours? He is amazing.
Like a week ago.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, John is so good. Mm-hmm. Casey's amazing. And, now that I own a tattoo parlor, I am a little bit more open with my ideas because, to me, even if I regret some of the imagery later on, it was really important for me to support my artists at the time. Yes. That has also opened me up to being as tattooed as I am. I probably wouldn't be as tattooed as I am if I didn't employ tattoo artists. Yeah. And I'm like, one, I want to show that I actually trust them.
Yes.
I personally trust them to put ink on me, so you should too. And two, even if it's something in 10 years, I'm like, that was kind of trendy at the time. It was worth it because I supported someone important to me.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, so the first one that I got it's been 25 years ago now. It was the hummingbird because I was super into hummingbirds at the time. And since then, I've thought, I just don't really like this one as much anymore. I've actually had it like touched up and things. And for a while, I thought, I just want to cover it up. I don't want to do that. And then I decided that no, I don't want to because that was it was representative of me at that time as a 29-year-old. How old I was whenever I did it. But it does represent. It's not my favorite one that I have right now, but it is in terms of like it was the first one, and I've decided that I'm going to keep wearing it with pride. So
it's a journey. Like I can look back now, and I got my first tattoos. Now it's been 7 years ago, which isn't that long in the grand scheme of things. But one, they remind me of my siblings, my first tattoos. But two, they remind me of going to college in Asheville. And I turned 18 after I'd already started college in Asheville. So, it reminds me of going out and exploring the city for the first time and walking into a tattoo parlor for the first time and just positive memories. And my stomach tattoo, it's for my parents, but it reminds me of when I started hair school. And then I was in Charlotte for hair school. Yeah. And so then I was also exploring Charlotte and starting to go. I discovered the tattoo parlor I was going to in Charlotte because I was checking out record stores and they were up the street. Yeah. And I just walked in and I was just leafing through portfolios and I fell in love with this artist, Kyle Patrick's work. Okay. And Kyle had only been tattooing for a year. Now he owns his own shop. Okay. So I feel incredibly fortunate to have Kyle Patrick pieces on me. I could not afford him today. Yeah.
Well, and I think, prediction at some point, people will say, I have, a Kyle Patrick tattoo.
Exactly.
It's going to be, these are artists, and they've let you use you as a canvas, and that's that's a pretty cool thing. And
I think I have about 7 artists' work on me, and they've all amazingly been able to blend into the style that I have and match the image I have for my suit, which has been awesome because I've sought out people who do those fine line and dot work things, and that's another thing is I made an aesthetic decision at 18 where I said, my whole tattoo, I'm not going to get color ever.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have any color. Yeah. And now my plan is maybe when I'm done, when I've finished everything, I might go back and add green. And have my little signature color thread in there. If I still love green the way that I do now in 10 years and my suit is done, maybe I'll go back and just add green.
That would be kind of an interesting way to do it. Because it does give you the opportunity to, you have it, but then at some other point, put a little piece of yourself at some other point in your life. On your body. So, that's a very cool idea. I like that. Or you might even say, well, for whatever future family or future other people in your lives, the color could represent.
Yeah, absolutely.
At some point. So,
I love the idea of maybe eventually doing that, and if not, then, that's just an idea ruminating in my brain. Yeah. But that's the beauty of tattoos, is it's collaborative, it changes, and now we have blast overs. We have tattoos where you just put a tattoo on top of another tattoo instead of trying to do a cover-up.
Yes.
And that's a whole new style that really intrigues me, but I always try to hold myself back from the trends. It's okay to do it on my head where my hair grows out, having a mullet right now. But I don't necessarily... Mullets might be back out in 2 years. Yeah. Mullets might stay in for 10. Who knows? But I'm enjoying having a mullet right now, which is something I also always tell my clients, is if there's something trendy that you want to do for hair, do it. Yeah. And even if you look back in 10, 20 years and you're like, wow, I look so stupid in that picture. It's okay, because even if you look so dumb in that picture, remember how confident you felt when you took that picture. Okay. That's what's important.
It is.
I look back at my scene kid emo pictures, my swoopy bangs, and I'm like, God, my hair looked like a helmet. But I was smiling so big in those pictures because I feel like just the hottest girl on the planet. And I was like, that's what's important, is that big old smile in this picture where I'm like, this is a good hair day. Even though by my standards now, that's a terrible hair day.
It's who you were at the time.
It's who you are at the time. And remembering how happy you felt for doing something trendy in the moment is why we do trendy things.
It is.
It doesn't matter if it's cringy by future standards. Enjoy what you did at the time and how the joy it brought you in the moment, because that's really all that matters, is the present. And nobody else on this planet is going back through your throwback pictures and deciding that you look bad. Just you.
Just you. That's
just
true.
You.
That is very true. What do they say? Nobody thinks about you as much as you think they think about you. I'm not saying that exactly right.
That is 100% true. That is completely true. You're your own worst critic, always.
Yes, always. There's little things that reel around in your mind all the time. But I think that's great advice, Galaxy. I love that if you just want to do it, just embrace it and
do it for the time.
With your hair.
And if it's tacky next season, who cares? It was in when you did it. And rock it while you can. Just do it.
I like that. I like that a lot. So let's get back to a little bit of music, and not so much Dancing Fleas music. But so tell me what is the first song you remember growing up? So
first song I remember.
Yeah.
So I would have to say Yo La Tengo's Autumn Sweater.
Okay.
Yo La Tango had come out with, I don't remember the album that song is on. But that album came out, and my dad was a radio DJ when I was a baby.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, he was working for WNCW.
Okay.
And he played a lot of music around the house. And so there was always some weird, eclectic, obscure stuff playing around the house.
Yeah, because I'm not familiar with that at all. So tell me about it.
It's an indie. It's an indie song. I mean, I would say that is the genre. Especially if you're thinking what indie rock meant in the 2000s.
Okay.
Yeah. That's not what it means now.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Mountain Goats. It wasn't anything that we call the indie pop we have now. That's not what it was. It was very lo-fi,
early 2000s
indie. Yeah. And he was listening to all these lo-fi albums to figure out what he was going to put on the radio.
Yeah.
So he would test them out and be listening to things at home to figure it out. And he got really into that album. So that was playing a lot. I remember he burned me my own CD that was totally a pirated CD of the Unicorns Who Will Cut Our Hair When We're Gone. And I was obsessed.
For you.
Right. Oh yeah, I was obsessed. And now as an adult, that album has so many curse words on it, and it's all about death and all these totally depressing subjects.
Really?
But I was that album rocked my world. And that album, not one song on it has a chorus. It's very weird, and the songs flow from one to each other, and it's a 90s Canadian lo-fi band. But I didn't have CDs that were an artist when I was a kid. My dad was making me mixtapes.
Oh, yeah.
He made me mixtapes constantly.
Yeah,
so
that.
And there's half the songs on them, I didn't even know who they were by. I like that song.
Or there were actually different albums that people had.
Right, yeah.
It's just
I was just like,
thing.
Right. I mean,
so is it the music that gets you or the lyrics that get you?
The lyrics.
The lyrics do. Okay.
A combination. I mean, there's certain musical traits that I dislike. And there's certain lyrical traits I dislike. And that's about the only thing that will take a song out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
If it has certain, like, I don't like whiny vocals.
Yeah.
Like, that kind of, like, pre-screamo, sad boy stuff. Yeah. Like, I don't like songs that sound like that.
Okay.
I don't like lyrics that are huge cliches. But I would say it would probably be lyrics more than anything else.
Okay. All right. So you, in terms of, like, pet projects or anything that kind of don't have anything to do with your business, or any passions that you have, or causes that you are especially close to your heart, I would love it if you would share some of those with us. I feel like that some of this was a little bit of getting to know about you, but I want you to have a platform to talk about any of those kinds of things.
Well, I really want to get back into some more community outreach, because since the pandemic, I've just been busy. Once we reopened, I've been so busy.
Yeah, well, there's there was like a backlog.
Right. I'm so excited to see that Shelby Pride has taken off and launched. I was president of Shelby Pride pre-pandemic.
Okay.
And I haven't really been involved since. And really, with it being the pandemic, we had dwindling participation when I took over.
Right.
And it just completely fell out with the pandemic.
Okay.
I love seeing the way that they have kind of just taken back over, and I really want to get re-involved with that. My biggest project right now, though, is still music related.
That's okay. Yeah.
Which is that me and my dad just started a punk band.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
We started a punk band, and it's me and my dad, Jason, and Kim Ware. She's a musician, and her husband's also a musician.
Okay.
Kim is awesome. She does singer-songwriter stuff. She would be right up your alley to talk to.
Okay.
But her husband, Mark, they were in a punk band, I guess, together in the 90s.
Okay.
And he hasn't, I don't think, done much music since then.
Right. Yeah.
But Kim is our drummer.
Okay.
And Mark is our bassist, which is awesome. And then my boyfriend, Zach, is on synth, keys, and sax.
Okay.
So we're trying to do very, like, X-ray specs and X. When you think about those old punk bands have some, they have horns in them.
Yes.
Those are the two specific examples that I can think of punk bands that had horns in them.
Okay.
And then I think about the Rondells and a couple other bands that had, like, very heavy keys, but their keys were all, like, very dissonant, almost cheap sounding keys, like very, I don't know, it sounds like a kid's piano or something.
Yeah,
like
the Casio
that,
from
yes. That is the type of sound we're trying to have Zach kind of bring into our punk band.
Yeah.
We want it to be 80s, 90s. We're not doing new punk. We are doing old punk.
Are you singing?
I'm singing. I'm only singing, which is crazy to me. I can't believe that they're trusting me with just a microphone. That's nuts. I got mercilessly picked on for not being able to sing.
Really?
In elementary school.
Okay. And
even into high school and doing theater. I did theater every year of high school and since I was 6 years old. And I got cast as animals or pubescent boys. Because my voice would crack and they would just be like, give her a song that she can do in a character voice that people won't care if she can't hit the notes. Like, literally, that was, like, the way that people treated me. I I signed up for a singing competition, and they told me I wasn't good enough to be in the competition in the 4th grade. Aww. It was like the Marion Intermediate Talent Show, and I didn't get into the talent show. I didn't even get into the Intermediate Talent Show. So like
maybe that was just the fuel for your bits. Gave you the fire to do what you're doing now.
I was like, I'm never going to stop singing. Screw y'all. I will figure it out one day and learn to hit these notes.
You obviously have.
A lot of practice and never giving up and I would audition for every musical. Yeah. And I was such a good actress, they had to cast me. Yes. Because you only have so many good actors in a high school performance. Yes. They would give me a big role, and all the big roles had solos. Right. So then I would get a lot of extra attention working on those things, and I think, I became a better vocalist.
I'm sure you did. Some voice lessons.
Yeah. I would also say, though, I have to give a lot of my chops to Lori Horsley. Okay. She stands next to me in the band, and Lori can harmonize with a car horn. Okay. She's got white hair.
The longer white hair,
yes,
right?
Like pure white, beautiful hair. Yeah. Lori can harmonize with anything. Oh, no, she is amazing. Yeah. And I stand next to her, and if I'm struggling to find a harmony, I go, Lori, can you give me a harmony? Yeah. And she'll say, sing these notes, and she will work with me on it. Uh-huh. And I think standing next to Lori for the last 7 years that we've been playing, I've become a much better vocalist.
Just from
practice.
Practice.
And then, lots of practice and having someone next to me with a good ear. Yeah. Who's willing to work with me and never goes, she doesn't cringe away from me if I'm hitting something wrong. Right. She just goes, try this harmony.
Why don't you do this instead of that?
Right. Or she doesn't get offended if I just steal her harmony. Like if she's standing next to me and singing a beautiful harmony, I'll start singing it. Yeah. And then she'll just come up with her own new harmony, which is so sweet. She'll give me the harmony, which is like so nice. She's like, that's nice. In your key. You can have it. I'll sing a key up, and she'll work with me.
That's what makes bands better, groups better. Everything is that give and take and that freedom and that generosity. Yes, that you have with each other. So I think that's very cool. Right. I hope she listens to this so she can hear.
Yes, Lori is amazing. Shout out Lori Horsley. Thank you. I would not be nearly as good at all this. Probably would not be the front woman of a punk band.
So what's the name of the punk band?
Yaller.
Okay.
Like. Yaller?
Yeah.
Our first show is going to be at Barley's in Spindale on New Year's Eve. I'm very excited. Wow. Okay. It's a punk showcase. Yeah. So it's going to be like 6 different punk bands.
Oh, okay.
Very excited. We're doing some Misfits covers. Okay. We're doing an X cover. We're doing a Dramarama cover. Mm-hmm. We have one original so far. We're working on it. Yeah. I told my dad, I was like, punk music is supposed to be angry, but we're such happy people. It's kind
of hard. If you sing it angry, it'll be okay.
I was like, everything we write is so positive. We can't even help it.
So are you writing, or is your dad writing?
We're all trying to write, but me and my dad are writing the most. I want Kim to write some more, because she is a singer-songwriter. Yeah. I'm like, Kim, write us a song. She's like, I'm still trying to pick back up on my drum chops. I haven't played in 20 years. Give me a break. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
And Zach is your boyfriend?
Yeah, and he's a full-time saxophone player.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
That's all he does. Mm-hmm. He teaches saxophone lessons. He plays in a variety of bands. He does wedding bands. He tours. He's on the road.
Oh, wow.
He's degree in saxophone man.
Saxophone extraordinaire.
Yep, his stuff is coined under Jazzy Zach right now, but he's going to rebrand to just be Zach Wheeler. Okay. Which I think is good, because he doesn't just play jazz, he plays it all.
That is, sounds like a very talented man.
I definitely have appreciated dating a musician, because he understands my schedule and I understand his schedule. It makes it so much easier.
How long have you guys been together?
7 months. And we started out as just friends, and we were just hanging out a lot. But Yeah, just the expectation that we almost never are going to see each other on a Saturday night. And that doesn't tick us off. Because we know it. I'm like, he's doing his thing. I'm doing my thing. I'm going to that Rogers Theater gala this weekend.
Oh, are you? I'm there too.
Oh, yay! We'll see you there. Yes. But yeah, I was talking about it. And he was like, oh, am I going to that? And I was like, no, it's a Saturday. Yeah. I was like, one, you're busy. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And two, Saturday is my day. We already know that. Saturday is the day we don't see each other. So sorry, but you're not invited.
So I didn't buy you a ticket, dude.
No, I was like, one, I can't afford to buy you a ticket. Yeah. Two, Lindsay is my date. My business partner is my date. And her the father of her child isn't coming. That is our night.
Well, I think it's going to be a very cool night for the Rogers Theater. So just thinking back a little bit, Galaxy, what would you say to 15-year-old Galaxy or 12-year-old Galaxy? What do you want? What would you want her to know at that point in time? Besides that, she will get to have green hair.
I think I would say keep singing because I think obviously I was going to do that anyway.
Yeah,
but it would have been nice for someone to reach out and say that I could be good. Yeah. Because people are very pessimistic. So I would say you're going to learn to hit some notes.
Okay.
And also that I think I would just say things work out.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't change any of the decisions I made.
Okay.
Because I went a very long route to get to where I am.
Uh-huh.
But if I hadn't made the exact decisions I did, the opportunities I have wouldn't have opened up for me.
Yes. You're exactly right.
I think I would just say the ends justify the means.
Yeah.
And that has been true throughout it all.
Okay. Awesome. So now I'm going to turn it and I hope you'll really tell us the secrets here now. Tell me your guilty pleasures.
Oh my goodness. Trashy reality television.
Okay.
That's it. That is like the big one. I watch Dr. Phil. I watch Steve Wilkos.
Okay.
Maury.
Yeah.
Garbage TV shows. Like really dumb stuff on TV. That is a guilty pleasure. And silly little apps. Like Sudoku.
Okay.
And, I don't know, just those are like honestly the things I am most embarrassed that I spend my free time doing because it seems the least productive of anything that I do is spend time on apps and watching
trashy
TV. But I justify it by saying I spend so much time tuned in, that is my time to tune out 100%. Yeah. That tunes me right out.
Yes, you can. You have to have some time to decompress sometimes and to just think about nothing, kind of.
Because all of my pleasures, I would say, I do not feel guilty about them. Mm-hmm. If I have an opportunity to take a pleasure, I don't feel guilty.
So tell me a pleasure that you don't feel guilty about.
Going to shows constantly.
Okay.
If there's a show happening, I'm going. If I get invited, I'm a yes man. I've had so many opportunities from that. Other people will say, that I spend too much time out and I don't do this and that. But I say I wouldn't have had half the opportunities I have. If people say you got to be in the right place at the right time, well, if you're not in the right place often enough, you're not going to be there at the right time.
That's a very good point.
You got to be at the right place at the wrong times often enough to be there that you're there at the right time. To. Right. So, I would say just regular pleasures. Me and Zach go to a jazz jam every Monday.
Okay.
And we go to a funk jam every Tuesday.
Ah.
And he plays, I don't play. Uh-huh. I sit and watch, and I don't have to think about a thing because I don't play a horn. Right. I'm like, I can't do this funk jam. I can't do the jazz jam. I'm here to watch. Mm-hmm. And it's nice because most of the people there are musicians. And so I'm like, okay, I get to just cut loose with other musicians.
Yes.
And that's one of my favorite things to do is just go. And I say it's my weekly music subscription.
Okay. Your Monday nights and Tuesday nights at your jazz
which we haven't been going Mondays, which is why this is actually not a problem at all.
This is a Monday.
Right. That doesn't matter at all because Zach lost his ID and that club is they're sticklers.
They're very
So I was like, all right, well, I guess we're just not going to go to the gym until you get your ID.
No, you'll have to order that thing and get it replaced.
Yep. But that's at Petra's club in Charlotte.
Okay.
They're definitely on top of their stuff, but for good reason because that's like the tamest crowd that has the best time.
Okay.
I love that place.
I never begrudge anyone or a place taking care to ask for things like
of course.
Too. So, but it does sound like y'all have a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like you found your jazz man.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, Galaxy, you have been so gracious in spending your time with me today.
I had a great time.
I appreciate you just opening yourself up like a book. And I look forward to talking with you again sometime and seeing you out and about.
Absolutely. Back at you.
So, all right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Beyond Bandwives. Look for our next episode. Until then, this is Poster Girl wishing you a beautiful, badass life.